Wrestling world is on fire right now, and you need to hear this before anyone else does. This is Ringside Decode, and today's lineup is nothing short of explosive. A WWE star quietly being lined up for a career-defining push, a shocking attempted murder angle rocking AEW, a WWE star breaking silence and calling out his own booking, plus the real untold reason behind Bayley's sudden return. If you don't want to miss stories like these, hit subscribe, tap that bell, and follow us on Facebook for lists you genuinely won't find anywhere else. Alright, enough talk, let's dive straight into our first story. A WWE star is set for a big push. Our top story today zeroes in on the current status of Solo Sikoa, and there's now a major sign pointing toward the former US champion finally getting the push everyone's been waiting for. Sikoa is now working as a babyface in WWE, and his performances have been earning nothing but praise from fans across the board. Widely seen as one of the most charismatic names on the entire roster, fans are practically begging WWE not to turn this into another swerve that eventually drags Sikoa right back into the bloodline. According to the trusted outlet WRKD Wrestling, the backstage reaction to Sikoa's babyface run has been overwhelmingly positive, with insiders reportedly impressed by how much he's grown. Could this mean WWE has quietly scrapped any plans to turn him heel? Let's hope so, because if handled the right way, Sikoa could end up being one of the most naturally over babyface acts on the roster today. Speaking of which, Sikoa is gearing up for a huge showdown at SummerSlam this weekend, teaming with Royce Keys and LA Knight to take on the Bloodline. Interestingly enough, WWE already tested this exact matchup once before at a live event this past weekend, and the Bloodline walked away victorious. Fan-shot footage from the event shows the match moving at a fast, hard-hitting pace, though the crowd reaction still felt a little off, with fans visibly unsure who exactly they're supposed to be cheering for in this messy rivalry. Meanwhile, AEW looks ready to step into a whole new arena and go head-to-head with WWE, this time in the world of radio and podcasting. Speaking during last night's post-pay-per-view press conference, AEW President Tony Khan confirmed that the company has been quietly building toward its own podcast network. "We've been working on it," he said. "We're still planning an AEW podcast network with our friends, so it's coming." Khan made it clear this isn't some last-minute decision, revealing that the idea has actually been in development for a long time now, and it's still very much in motion. According to him, it's going to be something special. "I'm genuinely excited about this AEW podcast network because it's been in the works for a good while now, and it's shaping up to be something truly excellent. This is absolutely a lane AEW could dominate, especially with rumors swirling that WWE is set to take over Busted Open Radio entirely. Reports claim Busted Open Radio will still give AEW coverage moving forward, but fans simply aren't buying it, openly questioning why WWE would hand its rival free airtime and exposure on its own podcast network. An AEW podcast network opens the door to endless possibilities, with big names like Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and even Chris Jericho potentially stepping into this brand new audio venture. Now here's where things get disturbing. An actual attempted murder moment inside AEW. AEW had been building toward a terrifying drill-based angle between Kyle Fletcher and Chris Jericho, and last night, they finally pulled the trigger. During their pay-per-view showdown, Jericho grabbed a drill and pressed it against Fletcher's head, a moment so intense it forced the tap-out and ended the match instantly. The second that drill touched skin, the crowd erupted into horrified screams, shouting that this felt like straight-up murder, cementing it as one of the most shocking, unforgettable spots in AEW history. Next up, Sheamus finally speaks out on his shocking WWE exit. Breaking his silence at last, the WWE legend sat down with Adam's apple and made it clear he holds zero regrets about his run in the company, insisting his career was nothing short of amazing and that he truly means it when he says no regrets. Sheamus went on to reveal he's thoroughly enjoying his time away, currently in the best physical shape of his entire life, spending quality time in Paris and heading back to Dublin to reconnect with family, all while keeping up his intense workout routine and feeling genuinely happy with where he's at right now. But when pushed on the real reason behind his sudden WWE departure, Sheamus stayed tight-lipped. admitting certain circumstances came up that he simply isn't able to discuss publicly. Though he did note that 19 years in the business was a solid run, especially since he left Ireland back in 2007, and hasn't truly had the luxury of going home to see his family and close friends properly. It's been widely reported that TKO actually approached Sheamus with an offer to restructure his contract. But just like what happened with the New Day, Sheamus turned it down, and as a result, he's no longer part of the WWE roster. Now here's a question stirring up massive debate. Do fans actually want Vince McMahon back? Speculation has been heating up recently around a possible McMahon return to WWE, largely fueled by the fact that his ongoing legal case is now shifting toward private arbitration, leading some fans and even wrestlers to assume this clears the path for his comeback. As of right now, there's no solid confirmation that McMahon is returning to WWE in any official role. That said, WWE legend Devin Dudley dropped a bombshell on his podcast, revealing that a surprising number of people are actually pushing for McMahon's return. He admitted that plenty of people want Vince back, pointing out the irony that everyone couldn't wait to see him leave, and now suddenly, they want him right back. Proving you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, especially when people convince themselves someone else holds the key to their happiness. Devin then added that if McMahon ever did make a comeback, he'd want to see the old version of him, the Vince from 30 years ago who was overflowing with creative ideas, the same energy he brought during the Attitude Era and even the Ruthless Aggression Era. One of the most eye-opening parts of Devin's comments was his focus on the real deciding factor, the shareholders. He explained that a McMahon comeback to WWE ultimately hinges entirely on whether TKO's shareholders are on board, stating it always comes down to them. And if they feel it's acceptable and the controversy fades, then maybe it becomes possible. But it fully depends on whether they want him back, whether they allow it, and whether they believe the heat around him has finally cooled off. Adding fuel to the fire, one major rumor circulating online suggests McMahon could be eyeing a shocking move to purchase a promotion like TNA outright. And even Jim Ross has publicly gone on record saying McMahon absolutely has the resources to pull something like this off. In another jaw-dropping story, a WWE star is now calling out a disturbing gimmick. WWE star Bronson Reed took to X to publicly expose a troubling gimmick circulating on the independent wrestling scene. According to Reed, this gimmick reportedly involves a wrestler inappropriately touching female fans. There's reportedly an indie wrestler out there using his gimmick as a cover to inappropriately touch female fans, and this needs to stop immediately. It's not entertaining, it's flat-out unprofessional. Since the call-out went public, speculation has exploded in the replies as fans desperately try to figure out exactly who Reed is referring to, with several fans even demanding that Reed name the wrestler directly, though it's likely he chose not to in order to avoid giving the individual any additional attention or exposure. In another controversial turn, Baron Corbin is now facing serious backlash over a booking-related call-out. Corbin found himself under intense fire this past weekend after previously demanding, during WrestleMania season, that WWE insert Carmelo Hayes into the Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn matchup, a request that matched what most fans wanted at the time. Now, ironically, fans are branding Corbin a hypocrite since he's essentially stepping into that very same Zayn role for his own upcoming clash with Williams at SummerSlam, while Hayes once again gets left off the card entirely. It's important to note that Corbin has zero creative control backstage, so the decision to book Corbin versus Williams as a straight one-on-one match instead of a triple threat with Hayes isn't actually on him. Thankfully, the wave of fan criticism has cooled down significantly over the last 24 hours after Corbin took to Instagram and openly stated that Hayes deserves to be added to the match, effectively turning it into a triple threat showdown. This is a genuinely bold move from Corbin, especially considering he only just returned to the company and is already pushing for changes to his own segment. At the end of the day, the former U.S. champion is completely right. Hayes absolutely deserves a spot in that match, and hopefully WWE listens and pivots in this new direction before it's too late. With one more episode of SmackDown remaining before SummerSlam, there's still plenty of time for WWE to make that adjustment to the card. Now for the real reason behind Bayley's shocking return. Fans were left stunned after reports confirmed Bayley actually wrestled during this past weekend's live event run, taking on both Asuka and Lyra Valkyria in a triple threat matchup. This came as a genuine shock, since a large portion of the fan base assumed Bayley was either heading out the door from WWE entirely, or at the very least, selling the brutal beatdown she suffered during Saturday night's main event. As for why she's back, the most likely explanation is that this appearance was strictly limited to live events, which aren't televised and, according to some, aren't even considered official canon within storylines. Meaning, WWE can quietly use Bayley for these shows, since she was likely already pre-booked and advertised well in advance. It still remains unclear exactly when Bayley will make her way back to WWE television, but it's entirely possible she stays off screen until her contractual situation is fully resolved behind the scenes. The full SummerSlam lineup is officially locked in, and it's stacked. This morning, WWE confirmed exactly which matches are set to go down on each night of this weekend's blockbuster event. Night 1 kicks off with the Bella Twins and Paige taking on Fatal Influence, followed by Gunther battling Nick Aldis, then Liv Morgan defending the Women's World title against Rhea Ripley, before LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys collide with the Bloodline in a chaotic showdown, leading into Brock Lesnar facing Obafemi inside the brutal confines of Hell in a Cell, and finally closing out with CM Punk going head-to-head with Cody Rhodes for the coveted WWE title. Night 2 brings even more heat, opening with the interim women's title rematch, followed by Penta defending the Intercontinental title against Chad Gable, then Trick Williams clashing with Baron Corbin for the US title, before Finn Balor takes on Sami Zayn, Danhausen steps in against Dominic Mysterio, and the night wraps up with the massive world title showdown between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Speaking of unstoppable momentum, one WWE star's win streak is turning heads across the entire roster. Since debuting, Danhausen has been a constant presence on WWE television, and it's now become clear he's one of the only names in the entire company who remains completely undefeated, currently sitting at a jaw-dropping 17-0. If Danhausen keeps this streak alive, WWE could easily turn this into a major storyline centered around a mysterious superstar nobody seems capable of beating. This weekend, Danhausen steps back into premium live event action as he goes one-on-one with Dominic Mysterio, and speculation is already running wild that this could finally be the moment his streak comes crashing down. Though given how over Danhausen currently is with the crowd, there's a real chance WWE decides to keep the magic going a little longer. And finally, in one of the most bizarre moments of the night, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes were seen kissing Danhausen during last night's live event. This unexpected moment unfolded right after the main event wrapped up, continuing WWE's recent trend of weaving Danhausen into the closing segment of these shows thanks to his explosive rise in popularity. And that wraps up today's rundown of the wildest wrestling stories and rumors making waves right now. Drop your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll catch you next time with even more wrestling content.